All right.
How about do no evil? 1 minute.
We have to be realistic.
Okay, so today's shir sponsored by the Goldreich family, Lilu Nishmas, Rivka Bas, Reb Menachem Mendel Alevi, and Simcha Moshe Reb Shloima. Right?
Shama should have an reason.
You are correct.
Do we know how Rabbi Levine is doing?
We have to wait for Shmuel to join us.
Okay, we'll have to wait for Shmuel.
Yeah, those, by the way, tonight on the program, coming up after football, 60 minutes, right, Shlomi? Tonight at 7:45. Well, Reb David Hofstetter gives a shir at 5 o'clock. If anybody wants to be interested, it's really a nice shir to listen to. The halacha, the Gemara is further down in Shabbos, in Klal Gadol. At 7:45, Rabbi the Rav and Reb Shia Fir are going to be on. It's not loop radio. It's really Tehillim and Tachnunim. At 8:45, we're going to try to tap into Sheis Taub. It's for men only, for husbands and fathers only. I'm going to tap into Sheis Taub. He's doing really an audio cast. We're going to try to feed it into our channel. I think that's going to be on 1948, and then Mendel Kaplan and Seil Mad at 10 o'clock.
Eva, I think it's enough with Lubavitchers. Can we get someone else?
Get whoever you want. I'm not only getting Lubavitchers.
1 second.
They happen to be the best around, but go ahead.
Who
do we get? Last week was Sambo Klein. Sheis Taub?
What kind of a name is
I wasn't that impressed with his video, I have to say.
Who's Sheis Taub?
Yeah.
So go ask him the question. It was just for husbands only. Which video? About the Mashiach?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I know. That's my opinion. I'm sorry.
All right.
You know, I love when people advertise that this is for husbands and fathers only, because it gets everyone's attention. Oh, it might be interesting stuff. I don't fall for that anymore. Because when I was in Lakewood, they announced that some Rav was coming and speaking only for DYLive. So I came running over there, and he was speaking about Birchas HaShachar having kavanah about the brachas. I said, this I could have listened to as a bracha too. I felt like I ripped off. I still remember what he spoke about, how you have to have kavanah for every bracha. So I remember what he said, but it didn't say what I was expecting.
Dirty Reb Shia is not a Lubavitcher. Last week we had Shmuel Klein, and Zions isn't either. So tell me what you want.
I'm just.
What are you telling me?
I'm just writing you, Kiva.
Oh, okay.
Someone's got to be the
I'm waiting for the Litfox to step up.
Yeah,
I'm trying to go with them. Step up.
To jazz you a little bit.
Yeah, every time I ask a Litfuck, I don't know. You have Zoom, I don't know. I can't. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. So ganz good. So good.
I didn't say a Litfuck.
That's all.
Okay.
This would have been.
I'll tell you. For the very first time, I heard Reb Meilech Biederman. Everybody was talking about Reb Meilech for the last I don't know how long, and I never heard him. Last night, my wife finally forced him down my throat, and I thought he was very, very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially when he vapes while he's speaking.
Who's Meilech Biederman?
I told him
you can get him.
Who's
on the
WhatsApp?
Biederman? He's like a YY Jacobson in Eretz Yisrael.
Oh.
He's just really wild, and he's Hasidish, and he tells stories, and it's on WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's a lullaby Einikel. Yeah.
I told my son's Rebbe, it's very hard to be a Rebbe now because you're saying a class on the phone. You don't know who's there, who's not there. You don't see facial reactions. It's very difficult. So I told him over Melech Biederman. Melech Biederman talks about when we do mitzvahs in this world, that's why we learn Tanya, is we don't realize the impact that it has. And we don't realize that it has a huge impact. So he said, I imagine there was a Batchin who missed his flight to come to the wedding, and he couldn't be there. So he had to do his Batchanas over the phone. But there was a lot of screeching in the microphone, so they had to mute it on the end of the wedding. So he's doing his Batchanas, and he's making all these jokes, but it's silent on the other end. And he doesn't know, are they laughing, are they rolling their eyes? He has no idea what's going on. And then finally, after he finishes his whole spiel, about an hour later, they unmute it, and everyone sings shkoyach, and they're laughing, and they're saying it was unbelievable. But in the meantime, while I'm doing it, I have no idea what the reaction is. So he said that's what it is. When we do mitzvahs, we don't realize what we're really doing there. We have no idea what's going on up there with our mitzvahs. So I told my son's Rebbe, you should know, you have no idea what's going on the other end. But there's good stuff going on.
He doesn't see their eyes glazing over, huh?
That's right.
I'll tell you one thing. Mati knows that if I don't comment too much, if I don't have what to say when Yossi Zalman is giving shir, it means I'm really occupied with something else, and everybody just thinks that I'm listening to the shir.
I thought you were going to comment yesterday when we said Reb Yochanan instead of Reb Yonason. I thought you're going to have to go back to your old Gemaras where you underline the person's name and change the ches to tough.
Oh, those days are long gone. I have to force myself not to look at a Kijiji ad while I'm learning with Yossi Zalman, because nobody knows.
Yeah.
Except Mati. Mati knows that if I don't talk, it means that I'm not really learning.
Okay, let's see the Gemara. Today's a very interesting Gemara. So we talked yesterday about if you could give somebody Musar and you don't, then it's as if you did Aveira. And that was all prompted by the fact that the Gemara quoted that you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to let your cow go out with a tsua between its horns. The Mishnah says that Reb Yosy ben Azariah did that with his cow. The Gemara said it wasn't really his cow; it was his neighbor's cow. But he was blamed for it because he could have spoken up and he didn't speak up. So we still have to get an understanding why did Reb Yosy ben Azariah not speak up. So that hopefully will come out today. So let's see what the Gemara says. Rabbi Yehuda had a Yosef kamei de Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda was sitting in learning by Shmuel. So Shmuel was the Rebbe of Rabbi Yehuda. Also, a woman came in, she came in and she was protesting and screaming about a certain injustice that she suffered at the hands of the Bezdin. Shmuel was not listening to her. He was ignoring her. Omer lei, so Yehuda told Shmuel, he told his Rebbe, Lo sover mar, do you not hold of the pasuk that says, Oitim oznoi mizakas tal, someone who plugs his ears from listening to the cry of the poor person, Gam hu yukri v'loyana, he also is going to call out and won't be answered? Are you not worried about the din that you might bring upon yourself? Amalei shinina, my sharp one. And that's how Shmuel referred to his Talmud of Yehuda. Reishach Bekri, you're a Rebbe, meaning me, Bekri. I'm gonna have cool. I'm not gonna get burnt. I'm not gonna get punished. But the Reishach, you're a Rebbe's Rebbe, Bechamimi, he's gonna get in trouble for this. He's liable for ignoring this woman. Because HaYosef Marukva Av Bezin, Marukva, the Av Bezin, is sitting right here. And he's also ignoring her. The Chsiv, based of it, Koyamar Hashem, Dinu Laboiker Mishpat, Vatzilu Gozol Miyadoshik. So Paskin the Mishpat and save the poor person who's getting robbed. Because if not, Pentetze Ka'esh Chamasi Ubora, it'll burn Vein Mechabe. And there's no way to put out that fire. They roy him alayhim. So what Shmuel was saying is, the only thing I could do is al marukva. Hakam Shmuel didn't speak up. It's obvious that Shmuel must have held that the fact Marukva didn't speak up meant that whatever this lady is saying is unjustified. And that's why he didn't speak up, because he felt there's no need for him to speak up if Shmuel is right there and he's not speaking up. Okay. Zok to Hilel Gemara Vaytim. Omar Bzeira, the Reb Simon. So Luchachilu Mar Lahani Deverish Kalusa. Why don't you give Musar to those powerful, well-connected people who are doing things wrong? Why don't you get involved? Amarlei, I would, but Lo Mekabel Minoi. They're not going to accept it. My Musar, they will not accept anyway. Amarlei, Afal Gab Lo Mekabel. Even though they're not accepting it, nevertheless, Luchachilu Mar, you should give them Musar anyway. It never happened that Hashem made a promise that he'll do something good, and then he backtracked on the promise that he said he'll do good. The only time the Rebbeinu Shalom ever backtracked on doing something good that he promised was due to somebody who was in a position that he could have been moiche, and he wasn't. Hashem told him, Avor b'toicha ir, b'soich Yerushalayim, and Hashem was preparing for a Magefa. He said, go around Yerushalayim. This visa tough al mitzchoy so anoshim hananochim v'ananokim al kol ta'evis and nashis b'soicha. Put a tough, the letter tough, on the forehead of all the tzaddikim who were complaining and who were terribly upset about the Averis that was done by the people around him. Amalek Baruch Hu Gavriel. Hashem told Gavriel, Lech Urushaim al Mitzchon Shel Tzadikim Tuf Shel Diyai. Put a tuft of ink, which would be black, on the foreheads of the Tzadikim. Lo Yishlatu Behem Malachi Chavala. So the Malachi Chavala, when they go out to do this Magefa, should not hurt the Tzadikim. And draw a target on the foreheads of the Rishoyim. So Omar Midas Adilaf Nekadosh Baruch Hu, Rebbeinu Shalom, Manishtanu Elu Me'elu. Why are you making a distinction between these people and those people? Omar, what are you talking about? Halolo Tzadikim Gemurim, Halolo Rishon Gemurim. Omar Lefon Rebbeinu Shalom. What do you mean Tzadikim Gemurim? Haya B'Yadam Limchosh V'Lo Michli. They're also bad. Amar law, go live you do lefanecha. So Hashem told him, I know, go do lefanecha. I know for a fact, shemichu b'hem, even if the tzaddikim would protest to the people of their generation about the wrongs that they were doing, lo yikablu mehem, it wouldn't be accepted. So I'm not going to hold it against them that they're not protesting because I know it wouldn't work anyway. Amar lefanecha v'bani shlolim im lefanecha gali, just because you know they wouldn't listen. Lahami gali, they don't know. So they should have protested. And this kitcher ended up impacting them. And in fact, what happened was, Hani Dechsiv, Zakein, Bocher, Ubesula, Taf, Enoshim, Tahirayu, Lemashris, Val Kol Ish, Asher, Olav, Hatov, Al Tikshu. That's what Hashem said first. And then Hashem said, Umi Mikdashai Techelu, you should start with my holy ones. Which means Hashem backtracked. At first he said, not to punish the tzaddikim. And then he backtracked and said, we should start. And in fact, that's who the Megillah started by tzaddikim. Tani Reb Yosef, al tiri mikdashai, because Pashup Shai umi mikdashai, from my mikdash, from my base of mikdash you should start. But don't read it to be mikdash my base of mikdash, ala mikudashai, the holy ones who make me holy, elu b'nei adam shekaimu esatayr kula, me aleph v'ataf. And what happened after that? And these are referring to the Malachi Chavala. They came from the upper gate, which is the north side of the Azara. Asher Maftat Sufayna. The Ish Klimafsa Biyodeh, they had their weapons with them. Vish Echad Besoichem Lavush Abadim. There was one of these Malachi Chavala was wearing white linen. The Keses a Sofer B'Maslav, and he had some type of cipher pen with him. And they stood near the Mizbech and the Choshes. In fact, the Gemara Mizbech and the Choshes we have it. There was no Mizbech and the Choshes. Shlomo built a Mizbech made out of stones. Amullah Kadosh Baruch Hu hischilu mimakom she'omer shir lefanai. Start doing the problems. Start from where they said Shira in front of me. And Rashi says, what does it mean from where they say Shira? Min halavim she'omer shir b'chli nechoshes. So Rashi says, start by the copper from the Levim. They say Shir. And Tosha says that the Shilok Yacham Mizbeach Sha'imim Lefanov Shir B'Chli Nechoshes. It's referring to the Mizbeach because the Mizbeach is the place where in front of it the Levim say Shira. So we just looked a big mouthful. There's a whole lot of issues over here. There's the sugya of when you're supposed to give Musar. There's the sugya. So let's first learn about when you give Musar. So Tosha asks right away. They told him that you should give Musar. Who was speaking to? Reb Zer told Reb Simon they should give Musar to Reb Shkalusa. So Zok Tosha, Hainu Heicha the Suffolk Imekabli Kida Omer Besamach Lefnei Migali. The only time you're supposed to give Musar is if you're not sure if they're going to accept it. But if you know for sure that the people that you want to give Musar to will for sure not listen, Hanach lehem, let them have their minion. Mutav shoygin vayu mazid. Kedamrina ba'mevi kadayayin. So Tosha tells us one yisod. One yisod is that you don't have to give Musar if you know for sure that it will not be accepted. If you're not sure, then you have to give Musar. But Reb Elvin brought down some other additional information, and he says there's the Rishonim discuss this a lot, and there's some other differences that Rishonim make. One difference the Rishonim make as well is if it's an issue that's mefurish in the Torah, it's a deraisa, then you have to give Musar, even if you're not sure. But if it's an issue that's not Mefurish in Torah, then maybe you don't have to give Musar. Another nafkamina is what if sometimes you know for sure they won't listen, but if you don't protest, other people around will see that you don't protest, and they'll look at that as a signal, as a sign that you're masking. So sometimes you have to protest and give Musar, even if you know for a fact that the person won't listen, because you have to make a point so that other people shouldn't. And with these svaras, people want to answer what was trapped and why Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah didn't give that lady Musar. Everybody knew that they should give Musar, but the whole shaila was is she wasn't going to listen. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah knew she wasn't going to listen, and he felt that no one would notice and no one would say anything. The Chacham were afraid that if he does something, people will notice and they'll learn from him, and that's what they held he should have given Musar. The Ramah says that if it's Barabin, if there's an Avera done Barabin where there's a Chil Hashem involved, then no matter what, you always have to be Moicha because that will lead to a Chil Hashem. Now there's a shayla is, are you mechuyev to spend money to be machiach somebody? Or you just have to tell them, and if it doesn't cost you, it doesn't cost, the cost you don't have to worry. So
is sending text enough?
That's the shayla. Well, you don't send a text. What you do is you send them an email saying that we saw what you were doing because we hacked into your phone and we saw all the things. And if you don't want us to send the videos that we took of you to all your friends on your contact list, you better send us 1 million bitcoins tomorrow. Right? What
is? I don't want to get sidetracked, but what does that mean to give somebody musar? That he's going to get punished and he's going to go to the hot spots? What's the?
Well, how one gives musar is the halacha is you're supposed to do it privately. You're not supposed to scream at a guy in public, and you're supposed to you're not supposed to scream at him and be.
That's no fun.
You have to give the musar in a way where it will be accepted. You have to be a consultant, not an insultant.
Oh, very good. Okay.
So he brings down. So he has a shop. You have to spend money. So he brings down the Chashuk Rebbe brings down from the Sefer Chinuch that besides the mitzvah of Achech, the Chech of Samisecha, which maybe you don't have to spend money for, if you see someone doing an avera and you could stop him, there's a lav of loisamod al tamreyecha. How could you stand by idly while your friend is destroying himself? And therefore you mechuyev to spend money. However, the Ramah says, the Ramah brings down from a tshuva, I forgot who it was from, that you don't have to spend money, and more than that, and this is something that might make us all feel better, is if it could cause you to lose money, such as maybe the Reish Galusa, where if you would give the musar, he might lose his position. If it would cause him to lose money, could be you don't even have to give a verbal musar. So that explains a lot of times where we pressure Rabbanim to speak up against things and they don't want to. Maybe sometimes it's because if they feel it's going to cost them money, could be they're not mechuyev to give musar. So if you have a good client and he's talking in shul, you don't have to shush him. You could let somebody else shush him because you might not get the contract next month. Okay. Oh, the other question is the Vilna Gaon asks a beautiful question. Why do you need by the Yidden in Mitzrayim? They put dam by the Yidden's homes and everybody else got slaughtered. Here, the Rebbe Yosy didn't only want them to put a sign on the tzaddikim, Rebbe Yosy also wanted them to put a sign on the Rishonim. What for? If they don't have the sign of a tzaddik, they'll automatically get killed. So the Vilna Gaon answers according to the Tanya. I was just trying to get Akiv's attention. He says the reason why even the Rishonim Gemurim needed a sign was because of the Beinim. It's brought down that if there's a Magefa, the ear, you're supposed to stay inside. So Beinim will stay inside. What if a Rosh Gomer stays inside? A Rosh Gomer, Hashem wanted the Machabel to know, go into their houses, even if they're inside, and the Rishonim Gemurim, they have to be punished. Beinini, if he locks himself up inside, then you can stay away from him. So that's the power of the Beinini. Okay, Valti.
What does the Gemara say at the end of Sukkah? Oile Rosh, Oile Shchena, right? And then it says the opposite, that it's good for the tzaddik. And it's good for the right.
So that's how that fits into here. Oh, that's
so that's the Beinini.
Oh, the Torah Shchena is the Beinini. I hear. Okay, Gewaltig. Okay, so what does it say over here? Hashem said, Halolo tzadikim gemurim. Halolo tzadikim gemurim. They were tzadikim gemurim. They didn't give Musar. So what do you mean they're tzadikim gemurim? I'm laughing because you're going to enjoy this kind of thing. This is from the Satmar Rebbe. Later on, the Gemara is going to ask, they were Mekayim es kol haTorah kula. We actually looked at this. Elu b'nei Adam shekaymu es haTorah kula me aleph atov, right? And they still got punished because they didn't give Musar. So the question is, nobody can possibly be Mekayim the whole Torah. It's physically impossible because if you're not a Kohen, you can't do the mitzvahs that are incumbent on a Kohen. And if you're not a Yisrael, you can't do the mitzvahs that are incumbent on the Yisrael. So how could it be there Mekayim kol Torah kula? So he brings down from the Reish Chachma that if you learn the halachas, if you learn kol Torah kula, it's as if you were Mekayim kol Torah kula. But the Satmar Rebbe asks Akasha. He says, how could you say that they're Mekayim kol Torah kula? They didn't give Musar. They missed out one mitzvah. The mitzvah of they weren't Mekayim. So how could the Gemara say they're Mekayim kol Torah kula? So the Satmar Rebbe answered, which is such a Satmar answer, is that Avada they gave Musar. They gave a little bit of Musar, but they should have screamed and went wild with their Musar, and they didn't. Zok the Satmar Rebbe, even if someone was Mekayim the mitzvah to the minimum level, he gave him a little Musar, that would help Stamazoi. But in a Shash, a Gzeira, where there's a Megefa, then even such a person will get a Rangachat. So that's very consistent with the Satmar Rebbe's Mahalach, what geschrigen. Someone told me that a Tziyoni approached an Torah Karta guy on Yom Ha'atzmaut, and he said, "Today is the day where we can both agree." What do you mean? We both agree that an Israeli flag is a Hefta Shal Mitzvah. The only difference is you hold Hadlaka Oisa Mitzvah and I hold Hanacha Oisa Mitzvah. Okay. Zog the Heilige Gemara weiter.
So what was from the Satmar Rebbe, the flag or the other thing?
Gewaltig. Okay, let's see where we're up.
You have to say, Yossi Zalman, you have to say the Rebbe's word about the Rov who doesn't protest is Nishkan Rov, the Rov that gets thrown out.
No, the Rav said that a Ruv was me willen nicht herauswerfen in Nishkan Ruv, in a Ruv was mewarfen Takaros in Nishkan Mensch. And a Ruv who they don't want to throw out, that's not called a Ruv. And a Ruv who they succeed in unseating, that's not a Mensch, because he has to be able to maneuver himself to stay in a position of power, even though he's saying things that are unpopular. Okay. Gewaltig. Zog the Gemara weiter. So we just finished learning the sugya of how Rebbeinu Shalom backtracked on that he wanted to protect the tzaddikim because the Katrim told him that these people should have protested, even though it wouldn't have helped, and they didn't protest. Zok to Heilige Gemara. So who are these 6 people that are coming in to begin the Magefa, to begin the Peronius? Zok to Gemara. Who are these 6 people? Amar Chista, they're 6 Malachei Chavala, and their names are as follows: Ketzef, Af, Chema, Mashchis, Meshaber, Umachala. Those are the names of the Mashchisim. Toysus right away asks, we have a Gemara in Avodah Zarah that asks that it says Chema Ainli. In one pasuk, it says there is no Chema, meaning there's no such Malachei Chavala. And then it says Ksiv Noikim Hashem Ubal Chema. So one pasuk seems to say there is Chema, and one pasuk seems to say there's not Chema. Umeshali, the Gemara in Avodah Zarah answers, Kan li Yisrael, Kan lenochem. This Malachei Chavala, his name is Chema, he only is there to punish Goyim, not to Eden. So the problem is, Frektoshus, Alma De'en HaKadosh Baruch Hu Chema al Yisrael. So you see the Malach of Chema is not unleashed against Klal Yisrael, yet here in our Gemara, from this pasuk, you see that it was one of the Malach Chavala that came to hurt Klal Yisrael. So Gemara, there's 2 Malach Chavala of Chema. There's one that's specifically for the Goyim. I assume he's worse. And then there's a more mild version of Chema that the Rebbeinu Shalom, when he has to, uses for us. Zok to Gemara weiter. Umayshna Tov. What's up with the letter Tov? Why couldn't it be a target? Why did Hashem decide with Dafka to put the letter Tov on the foreheads of the tzaddikim to save them? Omarav, very simple. Tov stands for Tchiyah, and Tov stands for Thomas. And since they use the same letter, they have to use a different color. Black ink meant you're good, and red ink meant you're in the red. Ushmul Omar, it stands for Tama Schus Avos. The Tov tells us that our Schus Avos is over. It's over. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, Tachun Schus Avos. The Schus Avos is going to rest now. In other words, we're not going to be able to be saved in Schus Avos. For Shlokish Omar, Tov means Soif Choshmoi Shalakadosh Baruch Hu. Tov is the last letter of the signature of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is the signature of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The Omer B'Chanina Choshmoi Shalakadosh Baruch Hu Emes. The Choshmoi of Hashem is Emes. And Rashi says what's unique about the word Emes is the first letter of Emes is the first letter of the alphabet. The last letter of Emes is the last letter of the alphabet. And the center letter of Emes is the center of the alphabet. In other words, it encompasses, the whole Torah is encompassed in the Rebbeinu Shalom. Oh, I'm sorry. Rashi says, Al Shem Ani Rishon, Vani Achroin, Vani Hu. It's Hoya Hoya V'yeh. Okay. Now we have another big shaila. It's because it seems to tell us that there's no more Schus Avos. The Omer Reb Chanina, the Gemara tells us, Reb Chanina says, okay, I'm sorry. The Omer Reb Chanina, Chosh V'shal Kosh Baruch Emes. Zok the Gemara Vayter. Omer Reb Shmuel Bar Nachmani. Shmuel Bar Nachmani says, Elu b'nei Adam shekaimu shatayra kula me'elef ataf. The reason why he put a taf on their forehead is to indicate that they even learned the halacha of ein maftir nachar pesach avikoyim. They learned the whole Torah, everything. So now the Gemara wants to get into when Schus Avos became used up. Me'imosai tamas Schus Avos. When did the Schus Avos cease to exist? When did we run out of Schus Avos? Zok the Gemara Amarav mimois Hosheya ben Be'eri. This occurred in the days of Hosheya ben Be'eri. Shenemar, it says in the pasuk, and let's look at it inside. Ba'ata and now, Agala es navlusa la'enim avel. I'm going to uncover their dark side to the eyes of those who love him. The ish lo yatzlema yodi, and no one will be able to save you. And Rashi says, the ish lo yatzlema she'ein oid schus la'avosh shachluah. That's it. You ran out of chips. So this happened in the days of Hosheya ben Be'eri. Shmuel Amar mimei Chazael. It happened in the days of Chazael, which is earlier. And it says the Chazael Melech Hiram. I like the Chazael Melech Hiram. Lochatz es Yisrael. He pressured Klal Yisrael. Kol Yemei Yehayachaz. All the days of Yehayachaz. And then it says Vayachad Hashem Oisam. Hashem had Rechman Hashem them. Vayirachamim. Vayifen Aleim L'man Brisoi. And he turned to them because of his bris with Es Avram, Es Yitzchak, Es Yaakov. And he didn't want to destroy them, and he didn't throw them away until now. And Rashi says, but from now on, so you see that the bris office ended there. This happened in the days of Elio. Shenemar, it says, this is by the Parsha of Elio by the Carmel. Vayigash Eliyah Novi v'yomer Hashem Elokei Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael Hayoim Yivoda. Today it will be known Ki Ata Elokim b'Yisrael V'Ani Avdecha, and I am your servant, and Uvudvarecha, and in your because of your words Asisi Eskol Hadvarim Ha'ela. So Rashi tells us Hayoim Yivoda She'ata Zoicher Bris Avram Yitzchak v'Yisrael V'Digomer Hayoim Yivoda V'Suloi. Since it says today it will be known, and after today it might not be known, Mechlal de Tama, Validei Rachamim Huskru Lahem b'Mechazah. So Rashi asked, if the Schus Avos has already ended in the times of Elio, how is it that in the Mechazal we say L'man B'Ritzos Avram Esizuk Ves Yaakov? So Rashi, it's because of Rachamim. So this is an important thing to know. Because even though we might have finished Schus Avos, the Meforshim tell us that because you have to, even today, we're still davening with Schus Avos, which is the kasha that Tosfos is going to ask, we're going to see shortly. So, but from Rashi right here, you see that the Tamach Schus Avos means Schus Avos won't work on its own. But Alidei Rachamim, if we daven to Hashem, we could still invoke Schusovis. So the Thomas Schusovis that our Gemara said, according to Rashi, is Schusovis that protects us without our involvement. But Avada, Alidei Rachamim, we still can invoke and tap into the power of the Schusovis. Okay, and then Rabbi Yochanan. Yes.
I have one question. There's a difference between Zechus Avos and Beris Avos.
Beautiful.
We say
Toshis that's beautiful. So beautiful. Toshis discusses that, and Toshis makes that distinction. But it seems like we still daven today for Zechus Avos and Beris Avos. We say Beris Avos, but we also daven for Zechus Avos. And Toshis asks the kasha, and he answers your teretz that even though Zechus Avos might have ended, but Beris Avos might not have ended.
What's shot then in Neisach Chesed La'alofim? Velef Dur, right? To 1,000 generations. Why do they say it runs out here? We see from the pasuk that it runs out after.
Right. So this is a big kasha. So it's possible to use Rashi's Yesod that Ayidei Rachamim, Ayidei Bakasha, that we could tap into Zechus Avos forever, and maybe that's what Neisach Chesed La'alofim means. So we used to have an expense account that we didn't have to do anything; it was covered for us. But now we have to invoke it. We have to daven for Rachamim, and that will allow us to tap into the Zechus Avos. That's one pshat. We'll see Tosfos for the other pshat, but I just want to finish all the different shitas. In the days of Chizkiyo is when we ran out of Zechus Avos, because it says Shenemar lemarbe hamisra. I believe this is when
slide your Gemara up a little bit, Yossi.
When Chizkiyo became king, the Navi says to give him more authority, Ulashalom and Kates, to give him longevity and to give him success on his throne, to prepare him, to support him, the Mishpat B'tzedakah me'at b'dolam, Kines Hashem tzavakos tasazois. From here on, Dr. Rashi, it's going to only be Hashem's only going to protect Malchus based David because of Kines Hashem tzavakos, and not Ayidei Zechus Avos, which is what Rashi says. The Chsiv me'at b'dolam Kines Hashem tzavakos tasazois v'lo Zechus Avos. In order to sustain the Malchus of Chizkiya, we need the Kines Hashem tzavakos because we can no longer rely on the Zechus Avos. So, being that Chaim Tzvi asked the beautiful kasha, and they made a distinction between Zechus Avos and Bris Avos, let's see what Tosha says. Shmuel Omar, Thomas Zechus Avos, Rebbeinu Omar Tachem Zechus Avos. Omar ben Tam, the Zechus Avos Tama, Avol Bris Avos Loitam. Exactly what Chaim Tzvi said. The Ksiv, it says V'Zacharti es Bris Yaakov, Af la'acher Golus, even after the Golus, right? Because that's speaking about after the Teichot, speaking about Hashem will always remember the Bris of Yaakov. When we daven, we only mention the Bris Avos. We no longer mention Zechus Avos. Umafarish the Shmuel Amar Mechazoil Daik, and he's medayik this from Shmuel's halacha, who said that in the days of Chazoil is when Zechus Avos stopped. So Tosfos learns a little differently than Rashi. Rashi learned that the way we know it is because but not from now on, Hashem will be mashlich them. That's a Rashi learns. Tosfos learns it's because it says Laman Brisoi, Laman Zechusoi. So Rashi doesn't make the distinction between Bris Avos and Zechus Avos, but Tosfos clearly makes that distinction. So we still have Bris Avos, even though we don't have Zechus Avos. When we read the V'Vikar Abedayik Me'adata, the Pirish Bekontris. In V'Vikar Abed, the Medrash looks like Rashi. You'll read near like Pligi Shmuel Be'Berechanan. Then he wants to say that there's not even a machlokes as to whether or not it was the Zechus Avos were used up, because Rabbi Yochanan says it's Tachem Zechus Avos. That means Zechus Avos was not used up; it's just resting for now. In other words, we can't tap into it temporarily. Shmuel held was used up. So Tosfos wants to say there's not really a difference, because Pshat is Delir Shoyim Tama Avol Tzadikim Lo Tama. For tzadikim will always still have access to Zechus Avos. With tzadikim are Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan was only speaking about tzadikim. Why? Tated that Reb Yochanan Amar B'Samach to be Mechizkiya Thomas Chosavis. Reb Yochanan said that the Chosavis was Tama in the Mechizkiya. The Hachak Amar the Afashas Churban the Botzarachi Tachans Chosavis. Reb Yochanan over here says how we know that Chosavis stopped in Mechizkiya, but he said it's only Tachan. So obviously by Tachan he's speaking about Tzadikim, and over here he's speaking about Rishon. And now Toshus Halacha L'Maaseh. And because of Reb Yochanan, who holds that Chosavis is still relevant nowadays, where even today we mention Chosavis. Reb Acha Omer L'Olam Chosavis Kayemes. Chosavis is Kaim L'Olam. L'Olam Anu Maskir Noisam. We could always mention Chosavis. V'chein Omer Kikarachem L'Yishkach Bris Avisacha. So there's two pshatim here. Either we can always rely on the bris, which was Chaim Tzvi said, or according to Reb Yochanan, we always have even Chosavis for tzaddikim. So I guess when we daven and we do tshuva and we reach out to Rebbeinu Shalom, we still can tap into Chosavis. So Baruch Hashem, we did not run out of our line of credit. We still have some more room left on the line of credit. But it wasn't on a line of credit. It's like when you get a credit card and you're a little kid, you have to prepay it. You have to have a balance in there. You get your parents to put money in. So we have like a prepaid gift card from our office that there's still money left on it. Zogt Gemara weiter. Omar Rav, Omar Ravami, ein mitzvah l'chet. A person cannot die without a chet. Interesting to note that a chet is shoygig, and even a shoygig causes misa, but then yisurin b'li oven. But yisurin only happen if there's an oven which is amazing. So you see from here that yisurim could be even worse than dying, because that dying comes for a mazid. I'm sorry, because dying comes for a shoygig, and for a mazid there are yisurim. Tosfos says something very interesting. Zok Tosfos, since gzeres come even for shoygig, then yisurim below oven shall mazid, and yisurim only come with an aver of mazid, because Amar B'Yuma chatoim elo ashkagos avonos elo asdoinos. Frek Tosfos avagav the Omar gabisir shal yom kippurim lahagen olav b'na yisurim mashma the yisurim b'ayim al shoygig. You see, you do get yisurim for shoygig. So Tosfos, it depends on what type of yisurim. Hachamar b'yisurim negoyim shemucharim k'demaisi kra. This is talking about a horrible, not typical type of yisurim. That only comes from an oven. But standard yisurim, standard difficulties that occur in someone's life, that could only be for shoygig. So I don't know about you, but I got really, really nervous because I have yisurim, so I figured, I must be doing a lot of mazins. But this made me feel better, because the yisurim that come for an oven are not the typical yisurim that a person has. It's unusual plagues and things like that. Zok the heilige Gemara weiter.
Manuel Sherchet used to quote, I think that it's right, that Yisurim, even when you reach into your pocket and you're looking for a quarter and you come up with a dime, the Gemara says it, okay, so that's Yisurim too. Right, so
right? Those Yisurim are made for standard affairs, right?
Right.
But an oven gets you much worse Yisurim. A standard Yisurim is you stick your hand in for a quarter and you pull out a nickel. An oven is you stick your hand in your pocket for a quarter and you hit a mousetrap.
Very good.
Okay, Zok the Gemara weiter. So what does it say? How do we know it? The chsiv, ein misabel echet. The chsiv hanevesh hachetas hitamus. Then it says ben lo yisab of an av lo yisab of a ben. We don't punish a father for a son nor a son for a father. Tzidkas hatzadik olav tia. A person will benefit for tzidkas. For rishis harash olav tia. Now, how do we know ein yisurim b'li oven? The chsiv ufakaditi b'shevet pisham. I will mon their averis with a stick, with a goyim avoinam, and with a nega, I will, which is yisurim, I will punish their averis, and that's how you see that. That's what Tosfos quotes. The yisurim that's for a major is negoyim. It's like plagues, pandemics. Okay, so let's see what the Gemara says over here. Meisvei, beautiful Gemara. Amru malachi ashoris l'fnei Kadosh Baruch Hu. The malachim told Hashem, Rebbeinu Shalom. Why did you make Adam Rishon die? What did he do wrong? Amar Lahem, what are you talking about? Mitzvah kala tzivisiv. I gave him a very simple mitzvah to do. And he was over. Amar Lei, Bali Moshe va'Aaron, Shekaimu was kol terakula umesu. Don't give me that you killed Adam Rishon because he did an aver. Moshe and Aaron were Makayim the whole Torah, and you killed them as well. Amalei told him, the pasuk says everybody has misa. Mikra echad l'tzadik v'l'rasha l'toiv v'l'torah l'tamid l'tzavech v'l'shein l'tzavech l'toiv k'chaytay. Everybody does. So to Gemara, so you see from here that misa comes even without a chet. And Reb Ami just said that misa only comes with a chet. So to Gemara, who the Omer Kiyaitani, Reb Ami, who said that misa only comes because of a chet, is going according to a different Tanya. Tanya Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Af Moshe v'Aaron b'chet mesu. Even Moshe and Aaron did have an aveira. What was the aveira? Shenemer yan lo hamantem bi. You didn't believe me, and that was referred to, I think, when you hit the rock. Ha hamantem bi. Had you believed in me, adayin lo yigiz manchem lipatim in oilam. Then you would not have died. You would not have died.
Yes, could you go back to that shaklavitaria between the Malachim and Adam Rishon?
Regarding Adam Rishon.
Regarding Adam Rishon, thank you. So Adam Rishon was knast with the Misa, but it wasn't just Misa for him, it was for his children and grandchildren too. They couldn't eradicate Misa. In other words, Adam Rishon said, you're going to, B'tzar tel dibonim, it wasn't for Chava, it was going to be for all of mankind.
So that's even a bigger kasha. Why did you kill Adam?
No, Adam sinned, and therefore it changed that Adam will have to, and his children also will be punished.
But their time was
this coming to attack Rav Ami?
Yeah. But their time, well, here the Malachim are coming to attack Hashem, and they're saying, Hashem, don't tell me that you killed Adam because of a sin, because Moshe and Aaron didn't die. Moshe and Aaron died, and they did do a sin. They didn't do a sin. So you see that Misa is not from a sin.
No, Rav Ami said that we don't punish the children for the father. And everybody only gets punished for their own things. Now the Gemara is coming with a meisvei and saying, no, look, there's a Gemara here that says Adam Rishon sinned and everybody after him is going to get punished. Yeah.
So that's the question, right?
I didn't understand it that way. Okay.
Yeah, that's the question.
That should be the question.
Right.
Okay, so I didn't follow Scott. I apologize. Yeah. So the kasha on Rav Ami was that you see the children do die. So then let's have a look at it. So that's the kasha. Okay, so the shakla taya between the Malach and Moshe Rabbeinu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu was if Adam was deserving of dying, right? That's clear. The shakla taya between the Malach and between the Malach and the Rebbeinu Shalom was did Adam Rishon deserve to die, and Hashem said Adam Rishon deserved to die because there was a mitzvah kala. He was over an avera, and the Malachim told Hashem back clearly, averas are not what causes death, because you killed Moshe and Aaron as well, and they didn't do an affair, right? So that's the shaklatay. So you're learning the kasha of Ami is from the fact that you see that children die for their parents. So Zok Gemara, I didn't learn that way, but I hear it's very stark. Let's see what the Gemara's answer is. Who the Amar Kahaitana? We'll say Reb Ami holds like this Tana. The Tanya B'Shim B'Lozer Emer, Af Moshe v'Aaron b'Chet Mesu, they also died because of an affair that they did,
and not the sin of Adam Rishon, and not because of what happened.
Who is ever suggesting
back according to Rav Ami?
How does this help? How does this help Rav Ami?
Rav Ami said everybody only gets punished for their own averas.
Right.
Then the Gemara brings a meisvei, and the meisvei says, no, because of the chet of Adam Rishon, Moshe and Aaron were punished. They didn't do anything wrong. And now the Gemara is coming back to defend Rav Ami and said, no, they did do something wrong. They were punished for their own.
So they're not, so the not dying. Okay, I hear. Okay. So the Taka not dying for the affair of Adam, they're dying for their own affair. Shenemar Yan le'amantam bi. Hamantam bi adayin lagiz machli patamayim. Okay, very good. So now the shaila is, there happens to be a shaila over here, did Moshe and Aaron do an affair or not? Or did Moshe and Aaron do an affair that would make them deserving of death and not because of Adam Rishon? So what is the shaila? So if Elvin speaks out, there's two different ways to look at it. Either because it was an avera kala, and an avera kala, they felt the one Tana that holds wouldn't qualify. So the first Tana of the first brisa holds that shouldn't qualify, and the second Tana holds that avera would qualify. The other difference is it wasn't the Aver that Moshe and Aaron did wasn't an Aver where they succumbed to a taiva, to a base instinct. Rather, it was a dakistic mistake in the calculation of a ruchnistic halacha, should they or shouldn't they? And it wasn't a taiva type of thing. It was a mistake that they made in psak, and the first time holds that's not an aver that should cause misa.
I don't think that's the issue. It's Yan lo hamantembi, and the psukim continue to say that they could have done a kiddush Hashem and they didn't.
Right. So they made but what caused them to make that mistake? What caused them to make that mistake? Was it a taiva that they had? They needed to eat a piece of cake, or
what's the difference?
Paskined.
Why is that a difference? A taiva should be less of a reason because the Rebbe Shalom created the taiva.
I hear.
But
Hashkafa. The Rebbe Shalom also gave us our thought process.
Right. So,
but you have a very good point. If anything, our base weaknesses are nefesh bahamis Hashem gave us. So why should we blame for it? Here it was a mistake in the nefesh haruchim. Okay, very good. I hear.
Yeah, but if Moshe and Aaron don't have the right hashkafas, who possibly can?
That goes back to a story that my Rebbe, Reb Yitzchak Pribin, told me over from his Rebbe, Reb Kalevsky. And Reb Kalevsky said that there's a famous story that the Meforshim said that the reason why Dinah was chapped by Shem is because when they encountered Esav, Yaakov was afraid that Esav would want to marry Dinah, and to prevent it, he put her into a box so that she shouldn't be visible, Yaakov, to Esav. And because of that, she was attacked by Shem. So everybody asks, which father in their right mind would allow or would not protect their daughter from falling into marriage with someone like Esav? So the Bali Musa say he slammed the box. When he closed the box, he slammed it too tight. In other words, he almost relished it a little bit. So Rav Kalevsky said, I want to ask Rav David Kronglas to Meshkiach of Baltimore, Zatzal, I don't understand that Avera. He slammed the box too hard. I don't get it. So Rav David Kronglas says, let me tell you something. Any action that your fallacious mind could appreciate is wrong to do, Yaakov would never have done. So it makes sense that an affair that Yaakov did is so darkistic that you can't comprehend it. Because if you could comprehend that it's wrong, Yaakov would for sure have figured that out as well. So when the Gedolim do Averis, we can't pass judgment on them. Okay, let's see what the Gemara says weiter. Meisvei fragt the Gemara. And we thank you very much, Agudah, for correcting me. So the kasha from the Brisa was, you see that children die because of parents, because Moshe and Aaron died. And on that, the Gemara answers that there's a Tana who holds that Moshe and Aaron had their own Averis. Thank you very much. Mesa, Dr. Gemara. Arba Mesu be'itav shal nachash. 4 people died only because of the Aver of Adam Rishon, ba'tasis shal nachash, shehesi lechava, v'loy bechet achar shaloi chatu. So there's 4 people who never died. Ve'eluhen, Binyamin ben Yaakov never died. The Amram Avi Moshe never died. The Yisha Avi David never died. Never did an Avera. Never did. The Kaleb and the Chila ben David. All these people never did an Avera. The Chulu Gemara. All these we know from Messiah that were passed on. Levar Meyisha Avi David the Mefarish Berkrosh Meforish in the pasuk. So I always thought about this. If I go to anybody on the street and ask them who's the greatest Jew that ever lived, what would most people say? Moshe Rabbeinu, David HaMelech, right? No one's going to think of these 4 people. And if I ask the average Jew on the street, which 4 people never did an Avera, would they even be able to list them off? Mostly not. So I always think to myself, it's a beautiful thing. These people never did anything wrong. But sometimes when someone has to accomplish things and to live things, sometimes he can't be perfect, and he has to do things. There's always not doing something, holding back. Sure, will protect someone from doing an avera, but it might also hold them back from reaching the great heights that he sometimes has to reach. So that's just a thought that I had. I might be wrong.
Was Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry. Who's Kilov ben David? Who's that?
He was, I guess, one of David's children, but he didn't kill his father.
Uh-huh.
Famous for doing nothing, apparently.
Right. No, what you see from here is that doing nothing, not doing the Aveira is a gewaltige Zach. But Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the Rebbe of Gans Klal Yisrael, he did Aveiros. But he did a lot of very big mitzvahs too.
My father once told me that if a person has no enemies, it's a sign that he has accomplished nothing.
That's very cynical.
That's a
like a politician.
very potent way of saying it. Yeah.
And 1 minute. And if he has a lot of enemies, okay, what does that mean?
But I mean, you can't accomplish anything. You can't accomplish big things without stepping on some toes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Binyamin Yaakov didn't accomplish anything?
No, just a question about Amram.
He did, but he didn't accomplish what Moshe Rabbeinu accomplished.
Just a question on Amram, when he was Pirish from his wife, right? Until Miriam chastised him, was that considered something that he shouldn't have done?
Not an
I don't know, but I guess it wasn't an Aveira.
He had permission to do it.
Why should it not be an Aveira? He had a misunderstanding in judgment, just like Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron had a misjudgment.
Yeah, but sometimes you make
stopped doing a
mistake.
mitzvah, but he wasn't over in
It was a
Aveira.
shovel tossing.
He remedied that. So
And he remedied too, right?
Maybe he would have had 4 children. Maybe he would have had 5 children. There was a neshama that was waiting up there. Maybe Moshe Rabbeinu would have been born earlier.
May I suggest that the separation was a mutual agreement?
Is there a concept also if you do tshuva that it gets wiped out as if you didn't do it? Is that
is that what this means? I think these people were loy chata, not pshat. They never did tshuva. They were loy chata me'olam. Yeah, if you do tshuva me'ava, it's not loy kischuyos. But right. I think the penalty is pasuk pshat. So let's see the pasuk that tells us that Yishai never did an Aveira. Ichsiv v'samosa. Some Avshalom, Amasa placed Avshalom, Tachas Yoav, under Yoav, Alatzava on the army. Amasa, who is this Amasa? Ben Ish, he was the son of a man. Ushmo Yisra Yisraeli. So he was the son of Yisra Yisraeli. Asher Ba El Avigail Bas Nachash. So what's important to us is that the wife of Yisra was Avigail, and the mother-in-law of Yisra was Nachash. Or, I'm sorry, not the mother, the father-in-law. The father-in-law of Amasa was Nachash. Achois Tzeruya, the sister of Tzeruya, Aim Yoav, the mother of Yoav. So that identifies who this Amasa was. And then the next pasuk says, well, the Gemara asks over here, the Chivas Nachash Havoy was Amasa's wife, the daughter of Nachash. Valoy Bas Yishai Havoy. I'll show you another pasuk that says that Amasa was the daughter of Yishai. Because there's a Chisim Tzeruya, Vavigoyel, Uvnei Tzeruya, Avshai, V'Yoav, Vasael Shloisha. So you see that the Vaksem Tzeruya, Vavigoyel, meaning that these are the children of Yishai. So you see clearly that she was the daughter of Yishai. So why was Yishai referred to in the pasuk as Nachash? Elabas Mishameis ve'itam shel Nachash. She was the daughter of someone who died only because of the Nachash, meaning he never did an Aveira. Zok Gemara, Mani, this brisa that we just learned over here about these 4 people who only died because of Nachash, who is it going according to? Ilim etanad malachi yesharis. If you're saying that the author of this brisa is the author of the brisa right at the beginning of the Amud, well, according to that brisa, it's not only 4 people who never did an Aveira. According to that brisa, Moshe and Aaron also never did an Aveira and only died because of other reasons of Aveira. Reb Shimon ben Elazar. It must be that Reb Shimon ben Elazar is the author of the brisa who hold that there were only 4 people who never did an Aveira. Ushmamina yesh misa b'loy chet. So clearly you see there could be misa without a chet because these 4 people all died, yet the brisa says that they didn't do an Aveira. There's no right to that. Rashi says that the kasha is from yesh misa b'loy chet. And in fact, you have a clear raya that even if someone never did an avera, it's possible that that person should still die.
But you still have a kasha. The Ron Shalom doesn't punish the children for the sins of the fathers.
Right.
Whatever happened
Right.
to that?
So I don't know. But the Idish al Nachash, means we were dying because of the Nachash. So I don't know how that works.
Isn't there there's another Gemara that says that 4 people didn't die, they went straight
Right.
to Olam Haba?
But they weren't these 4 people.
They weren't these 4 people.
No.
Like I think Eliyahu.
Elio, Yaakov Avinu,
Right.
Yaakov Avinu and Mesa Elio. I'm not sure how those things work.
So how? I mean, it seems like that doesn't understand with this Gemara. Those people didn't die b'klal.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that corresponds to this. I don't know. Well, or maybe you don't die only if you have a chet, is what Rabami said. But that doesn't mean you have to die if you have a chet. Like Mechi said earlier, there's a concept of zedoinos lasting lehem k'schuyos. So could be they could fix that and avoid that. But one thing for sure, if someone never did an aver, he wouldn't die, which is what Rabami claimed, and now Rabami is ogefer. Zok the hele Gemara weiter. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachmeni Omer B'Yonason. Kol ha'omer Reuven chata. Reuven was Bilbo Yitzui Aviv. He moved around the beds. So anyone who wants to learn that wrong and say that he was noyef with his father's wife, Eino Elatoy, that would be a mistake. Shenemar, because right after the pasuk where it says that Reuven did Aver, but the pasuk says, "Vahi bishkan Yisrael ba'aretz ahi, vayelech Reuven vayishkav espilo pilegesh Aviv, vayishma Yisrael," and then right after that, vayiu b'nei Yaakov shnei maser. So you see that the Shvatim were still intact. So clearly, that's an indication that he couldn't have done the Aver. Malamit shekulam kachas. All of the Shvatim were similar, meaning there was no Aver done. The pasuk does say that. What does it mean? It means that he mixed around the mattress of his father, and we'll see what he did shortly. And the Torah considers that such a big avlo kilu shachav ima, as if he slept with her. Tanya Reb Shimon Lazar this tzaddik Reuven is for sure protected from that sin. And surely this Aver of Znus did not come to him. How is it possible? Efshir also Zari Lamed al Har Evel. Is it possible that the children of Reuben will eventually stand on Har Evel, the Laomer, and say, Or Shoichim Eishes Ovid? Is it possible that a chet should have come to Reuben if his own children were there by Har Evel? Elamani Mekayim Vayishkav Bila Pilegesh Aviv. It means Elboin Imoy Tova. After Rachel died, so there were the way Yaakov used to work is he used to be with a different wife every night. Now, so there were 4 slots, and one slot disappeared. Who should get that slot? So he felt that his mother should get that slot. Omer, he said, my mother suffered enough that her sister Rachel was her tzora, was her kohev. But shifchas achois imi teitor leimi, the shivcha of my mother's sister Shivia tzora. So I'm not sure if the pshat Rachel's shivcha took over her night, and that means she would have 2 nights, and Leah would only have 1 night. I guess Reuven couldn't handle that. Amaru Bilbo's matzah, he moved around that Yaakov should sleep with Leah that night. That was his avot. Now, so you see on Reuven, it's malav akosov, as if he slept with his daughter, as if he slept with his mother. So in Philadelphia Yeshiva, there were 2 dormitories that the Beis Medrash used to sleep in. One of them was a real dump, and one of them was considered a nicer dormitory. 6040 was considered a dump, and 6055 was a nicer dormitory. And the dormitories in Philadelphia, when I was there, were actually old mansions. And they were some of them were beautiful, but they were run down. And in 55, which was the nicer building, in the front entrance, there was a beautiful, beautiful rug. It was a beautiful area rug. And generally, the wealthier boys were placed in 55, and the Yeshivish boys were placed in 40. And one day, the Yeshivish boys felt like a chutzpah, because they have more money, they get better accommodations. How you talking? I don't care who pays tuition. So what they did was they took that, as a symbolic move, they took that beautiful rug out of 55, and they put it into the entrance of 6040. And Rebellion heard about it. And Rebellion said, "You Bochums and you know him." So Baruch Hashem Shiva, we just moved the rug over. Next state, as I've einiges Bilbo Yitzur Alvin, as I gemacht in die Yeshiva, das the state der Yeshiva, und der was Mr. Ace, das ist ein Nervim, the Teicher ruft das Nervim. So the Baruch said, like, you're coming down a little bit tough on us. But that was one of the famous screams that Rebellion called everyone Noyafim, because they moved the rug from 55 to 40. I don't think that's going to be in the book. But it's funny because there's another place where Rebellion came down hard on the boys. In Philadelphia, the word for football is called kekelball. And anybody in Philadelphia, if you ask them how do you say football in Yiddish, they'll tell you kekelball. Why? Because one Thursday night, it was snowing. And at 1:30 in the morning, boys were leaving yeshiva. They were walking to the dormitory. And it was snowing outside. So, boys are boys. They had a tackle football game in the snow. It was fun. They played in the snow. The next Friday night, Rebellion spoke and he gave a schmooze. Bochum kekeling zich in de snee. Me komt hem al uit de ganse tog en nog dem bos met kekelt in de snee. It means they roll in the snow. So he made a big tumble about it. And again, that was like a bit much. We're just Bochum having a little fun. So Hendrik Plotnik was a Talmud of Philadelphia then. And he writes a column in the Ami magazine or in the Mishpacha magazine.
Rabbi
Hendrik Plotnik.
Rabbi in Chicago, isn't he?
He's in Chicago. He's a rabbi in Chicago. So he actually wrote an article about this event. And he writes in the article that a couple of days after Rebellion screamed about kekelball, he was walking home with Rebellion, and Rebellion said, he says, when you give Bochum Musar that they're not holding by, that's not the type of Musar you're supposed to give, which also ties into our sugya. If you know they're not going to listen, you're not supposed to give that Musar, because then it just distances them. And Rebellion told Heinrich Plotnik, that's what he writes in the article, that it was a mistake. He was measuring them with a measuring stick that was not made for those types of boys. So even he knew that he had to adjust.
I think the carpet story also falls under that category too.
That's right. That's right.
Ruler as well.
Yeah, but that story he probably couldn't write in the Ami magazine. Kekelball is a little more palatable, but the other story is much better. Zogt Gemara weiter. When he mixed up the mattresses, he actually mixed up two mattresses. One of the Shechina and one of his father, and we'll see what this means in a second. And not Yitzui Allah Soy. So let's see what Rashi says, what it means, Hashem's bed. I'm going to read the words of Rashi, but I really don't understand what it means. Look what it says. Zok Rashi, Kach Hoya Yaakov, Oise Barba Oli Noshav. In every tent of his wife, they had the matrimonial bed, and beside that, they put another bed. Mamed Mita L'Shchina. In every room he set up a second bed for the Shchina. With the Oisa oil, Shahu Roya Boysa Shchina, the oil that he saw the Shchina went to that night, Hu Ba Volom Oisa Laila. Chilalta, Oisa Shem, Sha'Allah Al Yitzui, the name that you machal on my bed. Tanu Shchina. With lots of Yitzu Alisa. It doesn't say Yitzu Alisa, Yitzu Allah, meaning it's referring to the bed of Hashem. I'm just trying to think. You try to drag a cot into your bedroom and you tell your wife it's for a guest that you're having tonight. She's going to throw you out on your head. But Yaakov Avinu actually pulled in a special bed into his bedroom that he had dedicated for the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's big Rebbe Shemaisis. Okay, let's see what the Gemara says weiter. Kitanoi. We have machlokes tanoim of whether or not Reuben actually did an aveir. By the brachos and Vayechi, Yaakov told Reuben, Pachas kamayim, you were fast like water, you were haste, al toisar. You're not going to remain. And at that point, you were machal the beds. Eliezer Omer, Pachas is Rosh Tevis Pei Chesayin. It stands for posta. Rashi says miloshin, you rushed. And Chavsa, because of that, you did an Aveira. And Zolsa, you mazalzol yourself. So this seems, Rabbi Eliezer seems to hold that in fact Reuben did do the Aveira. Rabbi Shua Omer, the Rosh Tevis says Pasata al das, you trampled on the halacha. Chataso, you did an Aveira. Zanisa. So Rabbi Shua also seems to hold that in fact Reuben did the Aveira. And Rabbi Omer, Pilalta, you davened. Rashi says you daven not after you did the Avera for tshuva, you daven before you did the Avera, lihinotza munachet, to protect you from the Avera. Cholso, you davened very strongly, and Zorcha tefiloscha, your tefillah flew up and soared and protected you. So Rabbi Gamliel holds that clearly Reuben did not do that there. Amar Rabbi Gamliel says, Adayin shrichen anu l'maydi. We still need Rabbi Lezer Hamadi, who darshans. Rabbi Lezer Hamadi Omer, hafoy cheseteva. You could also learn the Rosh Hashanah Zayin Chespei instead of Pei Chezayin. V'dorsha ziazata, you trembled. Here's Sata, you pulled back, you retreated from the Avera, and because of that, the Avera left you. So Rabbi Lezer Hamadi and Rabbi Gamliel clearly holds that Reuben did not do the Avera. Rabbi Omar, Rabbi Yirmiyah Be'abba, Zacharta Oinchoy Soldover, you remembered the Oinish that you would get for such an Avera. You made yourself sick because of the pain that you had to endure to hold yourself back from the Avera, and Pirash Milachta, you didn't do the Avera. So we have 3 sheets who hold there was no Avera done. Zakti more about the Reuven, Bini. Reuven, Bnei Eli, Bnei Shmuel, David, Shloimeh, Yoyesh. So we're going to be discussing all of these people now. Anybody who says that the Bnei Eli did an Avera, now we know that the Bnei Eli were cursed because they did an Avera, and the pasuk says Ve'eli zaken ma'od v'shama es kol asher yasun banov l'chol Yisrael. He heard the bad things that his children were doing. They slept with women who came to the Pesach HaMoed. So it seems like it is nus. Zokt Rab Shmuel ben Achmeni and Yosef, they didn't do an Avera. Any Latoya. Shenemar v'shem b'nei Eli. It says, let's read it inside. V'ala ishahu. V'ala ishahu ve'irei miyam yamim l'shtach v'chazbech l'shem tzvakas b'shalai v'sham b'nei Eli. Over there was b'nei Eli. Chavnu Pinchas kaihanim l'Hashem. And what does he learn from there? Sober l'karav. The Amarav, Pinchas lechata. Pinchas did not do an Avera. Makish chafni lepinchas. How do you know Pinchas lechata? Because I think the drasha is because it still calls them kaihanim. It still calls them kaihanim. No, he learns it out of a pasuk. Rashi says he learns it out of a pasuk later on in the Gemara. We'll see. Anyway, the Gemara learns it later on. So we know Pinchas did an Avera, and since Pinchas and Chafni are together, we're makish Chafni lepinchas. Ma Pinchas loy chata, av Chafni loy chata. So if they didn't do an Avera, elamani mekayim asher yishkevin esanoshim. What does the pasuk mean when the Torah seems to indicate they did a terrible Avera? The Gemara show as kinean, they dragged their feet when people came to bring karbanos. A woman who has a baby, she's not mutter to go back to her husband until she brings her karbanos. So she would come bring her karbanos instead of them rushing to be makar of those karbanos immediately that day, so that they can go home that day and be with their husbands. They slept it out. They left it overnight. And because of that, they withheld their wives from being with their husbands. The Torah considered it like znus. That's what a terrible affair it is, to keep a husband away from his wife and vice versa. Gufa. Amarav. Pinchas loichata. Pinchas didn't do the bear. How do we know? Shenemar, this is what the Gemara was referring to a moment earlier. Pinchas loichata, because Shenemar b'achia ben Achitoiv, Achia, the son of Achitoiv, Achi Chavod, the brother of Chavod, ben Pinchas, ben Eli, Kohen Hashem. So you see the Torah was miyachis, a Kohen of future generations, back to Pinchas. Normally, if there's a bad grandfather in the lineage, it wouldn't go up that far, because we're talking about Tzadikim Kohanim, we wouldn't reckon him back to that grandfather. We would stop there. Would the Torah include him in the yichus brief of the prestigious Achiv and Achitov if, in fact, Pinchas was an Avera, was a Baal Avera? Hashem will cut off someone who does Averas. This is talking about Znus. And so what does this mean? So the Gemara, im Yisrael, who, if it's a Yisrael who does Znus, he's not going to understand. He won't have the sharpness to understand and to paskin and to shmuz with the chachamim, and he won't have talmidim. And this is going on his future generations. And if it's a kohen who did avera, ben magish mincha, he won't have children who are kosher kohanim. And in fact, you see clearly that Pinchas had einigklach who were kohanim. So that's a raya that Pinchas couldn't have done an avera. And from the hekesh that the Gemara mentioned earlier, we know that Chofni also could not have sinned with snus, although he did sin because he delayed the karbonos.
A minute. Are we talking about the Pinchas that killed?
No, not Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen.
Okay.
We're talking about Pinchas ben Eli.
Pinchas ben Eli. Okay, just want to clarify that.
So Gemara, if you're going to say there was no avera, if you're going to say Pinchas lechata, right? At this point, this is before the hekesh. Rav says only Pinchas lechata, but Chafni did do the avera. But alaksiv asher yishkevun, it says yishkevun l'shem rabim, meaning your two sons, not only one son, did the avera. Zoktomar yishkevein ksiv, which is a lashon yochid. Vaksiv el bonai kiloi toiva hashmua. He told his children el bonai kiloi toiva hashmua. Bonai is a lashon rabim, so again it's speaking about both children. Amar Nachman Yitzchak b'ni ksiv. It doesn't say bonai, you read it b'ni. The next line is very controversial. Vaksiv ma'avirim. It says asher ani cheshemea ma'avirim am Hashem. So if you read the pasuk, he told his children, "Kiloi toiva hashmua." It's not good that I'm hearing. Asher ani cheshemea ma'avirim am Hashem. The nation of Hashem is moving away. So first of all, this pasuk isn't even talking about the Bnei Eli. So Rashi actually says the next three lines of this Gemara is in fact a mistake, because the whole pasuk is not even talking about the Bnei Eli, it's talking about the Klal Yisrael. But there's other problems, because the Gemara asks Vaksiv ma'avirim with a yud, Amar Vundi Reb Yeshua ma'avirim ksiv without a yud. The problem is, if you look at our Novi, it actually says ma'avirim with a yud. So Rashi says clearly this Gemara doesn't have the same girsa in the Novi as we do. Number one. Number two is, I think the whole shtickle is a mistake, so Rashi, because the whole word ma'avirim is not even talking about the Bnei Eli, if you look at the context of the pasuk. In fact, Rabbi said Bnei Belial. Again, it says that they were both bad. I only Chafni did that there. So since Pinchas should have protested when Chafni delayed and he didn't, okay, let's stop over here. Shkoyach. So Chaim, remember Chaim Tzvi, you got to be moiche. Oh, he's not here anymore. You got to be, according to the Satmar Rebbe, you have to scream as loud as you can. Otherwise, you get an angach.
Yossi, if I could just take this screen share for a moment. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. No, you don't have to do anything. Okay.
And you'll stop the recording whenever that's.
Yeah, done. I wanted just to show. Let me see if I can get this here.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. So Akiva, you're gonna have to send out a reminder for that 7:45 because it's not on the schedule.
I know. I will do that.
Okay. Talk to you later.
So this is on today. I just found a chart
of the people who do about who did Averis. So according to Rav Ami, Moshe Aaron died because of their own Aveira.
Right.
Binyamin, Amar, Misha, and Kalev also had an Aveira.
That's what it seems, according to Rav Ami.
Yeah, because Rav Ami holds nobody dies without an Aveira.
Right,
so
right.
Even though the Gemara Blab Shver, but Lamaisa, that's what Rav Ami holds.
Correct.
So what about this Pinchas guy?
So 1 second, that's the next one. The next chart I saw, Bnei Eli, according to Shmuel. Right, so
neither one, because Shmuel Bar Nachmani learns a hekesh from Pinchas to Chafni, that if Pinchas didn't do an Aveira, neither did Chafni. And Rab learns that Pinchas did not do the Aveira, but Chafni
did. Yeah. So
Pinchas wasn't included in that brisa.
Yeah, I know someone.
Yeah, no, he did an Aveira. He didn't do that specific.
Oh, he didn't do that specific one. I thought it says at all.
No, the Aveira that we were accusing him of, he didn't do.
Oh, okay.
Right. Is the recording stopped?
Not yet. Hold on.
Shut the recording.
Okay.
I know somebody who named their.
Well, before you say that, Akiva, even if the recording is off, if it's still live streaming, it will be recorded on YouTube.
Right.
No, it's not. When the recording is the YouTube stream, while it's being streamed,
because it still says live.
Okay, so let's say goodbye. I know. So let's say goodbye now to the YouTube watchers. Thank you for tuning in.
And if you want to hear the real juice, you have to be on live.
You have to pay for this.